Have you ever noticed how some mornings feel heavy while others feel strangely filled with hope even before anything happens? What if the difference isn't accidental at all? What if every new morning carries a spiritual doorway that most people pass by without ever seeing? A doorway where God releases fresh mercy, quiet favor, and unseen miracles long before your day even begins. Today you are becoming aware of that doorway. You are learning how to step into it with intention instead of rushing past it without realizing what was available to you. Most people wake up already running, already worrying, already replaying yesterday's conversations and problems. They move straight into the noise without realizing that something powerful has already been released the moment they open their eyes. Scripture calls it new mercies. But this is more than forgiveness and more than a simple reset. It is God offering you strength you did not earn, protection you never asked for, and opportunities you didn't even know were forming. It is heaven working ahead of you while you are still waking up. This is not a moment meant only to be heard. It is meant to be activated. You are learning why the very first words you speak in the morning shape the emotional and spiritual atmosphere of the entire day. You are discovering how a simple, sincere prayer can open doors that effort alone could never unlock. You are beginning to understand why some people seem to walk in unusual favor, why breakthroughs appear to find them, and how you can begin walking in that same flow starting now. There is a truth ahead that changes how you view every sunrise, a truth many overlook, yet once it settles in your heart, mornings are never the same again. This moment is a gift, a fresh morning, a fresh mercy, a sacred opportunity to invite God's presence into your day before anything else touches it. The instant you open your eyes, your heart begins searching for direction. Your mind wakes up before your body, and your spirit feels the weight of everything waiting ahead. That is why the first words you speak carry more power than you may realize. Whatever fills your heart at the beginning becomes the compass that guides your thoughts, reactions, and decisions. If fear speaks first, fear sets the tone. If anxiety leads, heaviness follows. But when God is invited first, everything shifts. When God's voice is the first voice you welcome, peace arrives before chaos has a chance to rise. Strength settles in before weakness can take hold. Favor positions itself quietly before obstacles even appear. The morning hour holds a quiet authority that many underestimate. Instead of stepping into the new day, people often carry yesterday's stress, last night's worries, and old concerns that were never meant to cross into a new sunrise. Morning prayer interrupts that cycle. It gently wipes the heart clean, clears the mental noise, and lifts the spirit before the day can weigh it down. When you give God the first moments of your day, you are not speaking into emptiness. You are aligning your heart with His purpose. You are placing your steps under His guidance and inviting His presence to go before you and prepare what you cannot yet see. Morning prayer does not need to be long or complicated. It is simply choosing to let God speak before worry does. It is lifting your heart before pressure reaches it. Over time, this becomes a rhythm, and you begin to notice how peace follows you, how doors open more easily, and how favor appears in unexpected places. There is a gentle window each morning when your spirit is open, your thoughts are clearer, and your heart is still deciding what it will carry for the rest of the day. This is the perfect moment to invite God in, not with rehearsed language or elaborate speech, but with simple surrender that says, "Lord, I welcome you here." When you invite God into your thoughts, you allow Him to shape them before fear tries to take control. When you invite Him into your heart, His peace settles before frustration and pressure can rise. When you invite Him into your day, you acknowledge that you are not walking into the world alone. God's presence is not distant or unreachable. It is closer than your breath, waiting for your invitation. The moment you call His name, He draws near. The moment you open your heart, He fills the space. His presence brings light into areas where doubt once lived. It brings clarity where confusion lingered. It brings strength where weakness tried to win. When His presence goes with you, rooms feel different, challenges seem smaller, and decisions become clearer. Welcoming God into your day is like opening a window and letting fresh air sweep through a room that has been closed for too long. It changes the atmosphere. It quiets the noise. It lifts the heaviness that often tries to settle in the moment you wake up. Inviting God is not a ritual or a routine. It is the posture of relationship. It is choosing to begin the day with the one who knows your path, understands your struggles, and has already prepared your blessings. When you let him in at the start, his peace, guidance, and favor follow you wherever you go. Every morning, before the world asks anything of you, there is already a weight you can feel. The quiet pressure of fear, the stress of unanswered questions, the worry about things beyond your control. These emotions try to attach themselves the moment you wake up, and if left unchecked, they follow you throughout the day. This is why surrendering your worries to God in the morning matters so deeply. It is the moment you decide that what you are carrying was never meant to be carried alone. It is the moment you release what does not belong in your hands. Surrender does not mean denying your problems. It means acknowledging that God is greater than every problem you face. When you say, "Lord, I place this in your hands," you are not giving up. You are giving over. You are shifting the weight from your limited strength to his unlimited power. When you release control, something changes inside you. Your thoughts grow lighter. Your emotions settle. Fear loses its voice. God steps into the space where anxiety once ruled. Fear grows in silence, but it weakens when placed before God. Worry expands when you grip it tightly, but it shrinks when you release it through prayer. Every burden you surrender creates room for peace. Every fear you give to God makes space for courage. Even when you cannot see it, God begins working behind the scenes. He handles battles you never knew were forming. He calms storms before they reach you. He replaces panic with assurance and anxiety with quiet strength. When you surrender early in the day, you step into the world covered, supported, and strengthened. Before notifications appear, before responsibilities call your name, before the noise begins, there is a simple and powerful pause, a moment to say thank you. Gratitude shifts everything. It is more than courtesy. It is a spiritual posture that opens your heart to God's goodness. When you thank God for breath, you acknowledge a gift that many never receive again. Every inhale is evidence that God is still working in your life. Every heartbeat is proof that purpose remains. Life itself is a blessing, and gratitude magnifies that truth. Thanking God for strength is also an act of faith. You may feel tired or stretched, but the strength you do have is still a sign of his sustaining hand. Strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is simply the ability to rise, to think, to hope, to keep going. When you thank God for that strength, you recognize his presence in the small things others overlook. Gratitude aligns your heart with heaven's perspective. It lifts your focus beyond what is missing and opens your eyes to what is already present. Then there are the new opportunities hidden in the day ahead. You may not see them yet, but gratitude prepares your heart to expect good. Every sunrise carries fresh possibilities, new connections, and unseen favor. When you say, "Thank you for this day," you are declaring trust that God has goodness waiting for you. You step forward with hope instead of heaviness. Gratitude clears yesterday's fog. It softens the heart, awakens joy, and strengthens expectation. When you begin with thanksgiving, you position yourself to recognize what God is about to do, not just what he has already done. Every day brings choices, some small and some life-shaping. Choices in how you respond, how you speak, where you go, and what you give your energy to. This is why asking for God's guidance in the morning is essential. You are not just asking for answers. You are asking for alignment. You are asking God to steady your steps, guard your words, and direct your focus. You are inviting his wisdom into moments you cannot predict and decisions you have not yet faced. When you ask God to guide your day, you are acknowledging that your understanding is limited, but his is complete. You are allowing him to redirect you away from paths that drain you and toward ones that strengthen you. His guidance often comes quietly, through a sense of peace, a pause, or a gentle nudge. When you walk with that guidance, your day becomes less reactive and more intentional. You move with clarity instead of confusion. You respond with wisdom instead of impulse. You begin to notice that even interruptions carry purpose. Walking under God's guidance does not remove challenges, but it changes how you face them. You are no longer relying solely on your own strength or perspective. You are moving with divine direction, shaping your steps. When you begin each day this way, mornings stop feeling random. They become sacred starting points. Each sunrise becomes an invitation to walk in mercy, peace, and purpose. And over time, you realize that the difference between heavy mornings and hopeful ones is not circumstance. It is who you invited into the first moments of your day. Understanding alone could never fully handle. When you seek His direction first, you build your day on wisdom rather than guesswork. Guidance from God is more than an emotional sense or fleeting impression. It is clarity that cuts cleanly through confusion. It is light that reveals what natural sight cannot recognize. It is the gentle restraint that keeps you from stepping into unnecessary struggles. His wisdom protects you from choices driven by fear, anger, or pressure. And it helps you discern which opportunities come from Him and which traps disguise themselves as blessings. When you ask God to guide your thoughts, He aligns them with truth instead of distortion. When you ask Him to guide your words, He safeguards your relationships. When you ask Him to guide your steps, He leads you toward favor rather than frustration. There will always be moments when uncertainty appears, moments when the right decision is unclear or the next step feels uncertain. But when you have already invited God to lead, you can move forward with quiet confidence, trusting that even when the full picture is hidden from you, it is completely visible to Him. He directs you through peace in your spirit, wisdom in your mind, or a subtle shift in your heart. Asking for God's guidance is acknowledging that His way is greater than your own. It is choosing direction instead of uncertainty, clarity instead of confusion, and wisdom instead of impulse. When your day begins with this kind of surrender, you position yourself to make decisions that bring peace, forward movement, and lasting purpose rather than regret or confusion. From the moment you step into a new day, there is something powerful you are invited to call upon: God's favor. This is not luck, and it is not coincidence. It is a divine covering that goes before you, walks beside you, and remains behind you. When you pray for God's favor to surround you, you are asking for supernatural help that alters outcomes, opens hearts, shifts conversations, and positions you where effort alone could never place you. Favor is God's assurance that He is with you and already moving ahead of you. When you declare that God's favor goes before you like a shield, you are speaking a truth many overlook. Favor is not only blessing, it is protection. It shields you from unseen harm, unfair resistance, and decisions meant to restrict you. It turns closed doors into open ones. It brings the right people into your life and gently removes those who no longer belong. It softens difficult situations and brings ease where others experience struggle. When favor surrounds you, delays shorten and resistance weakens. Things that should have stalled begin to move forward. Opportunities that seemed unreachable suddenly find their way to you. Approvals come where denial was expected. These moments are not accidents. They are evidence of God's hand working quietly on your behalf. Praying for favor is not about convincing God to do something He does not want to do. It is agreeing with what He already desires for you. You are declaring that His presence is your advantage, His guidance your strategy, and His grace your covering. You are inviting Him to go before you into conversations, meetings, decisions, and environments you will face. When God goes ahead of you, no obstacle can truly stand against you. Speak favor over your steps, your work, your relationships, your ideas, and your dreams. Let it surround your mind, your words, and your path like a shield that cannot be shaken. Beginning your day with a prayer for God's favor is declaring expectation. Expectation of goodness, protection, and blessing woven into every part of your journey. There are moments when you stand before a door that will not open. You push, plan, and persist, yet it remains closed. Not because you lack strength or effort, but because some doors are not meant to open through human ability. Some doors are reserved for God alone to unlock. These doors are connected to destiny, breakthrough, and growth beyond what you imagined. They are supernatural doors, and when God opens one, no power on earth can shut it. Each new day carries a hidden possibility. Somewhere along your path, an opportunity is waiting, aligned with what God has already prepared. You may not know when it will appear or how it will arrive, but when God opens a door, it often happens suddenly and decisively. The right person notices you. A decision shifts in your favor. A situation that felt stuck begins to move. A blessing you never anticipated arrives at the perfect moment. These are not coincidences. They are signs of God working behind the scenes, arranging details you could never manage on your own. God's doors do not always look impressive at first. Sometimes they appear small, ordinary, or even insignificant. Yet once you step through them, you realize they lead to places far greater than expected. A simple connection becomes a life-altering opportunity. A quiet idea turns into a breakthrough. A slow season transforms into momentum. When God opens a door, it comes with peace, grace, and perfect timing. Praying for the right doors to open is not about rushing your life forward. It is about trusting that God knows which paths lead to blessing and which lead to burden. It is choosing patience while God prepares what is ahead. And when the moment is right, His hand turns the key. The door opens and you step into something only heaven could have prepared. Every day, unseen forces are at work, and not all of them carry good intentions. There are dangers, negative influences, and spiritual opposition that attempt to interfere with your peace, progress, and purpose. This is why asking God for protection each morning is essential. It is more than precaution. It is a declaration that no plan, no hidden force, and no opposition can succeed against you when you are covered by His power. God's protection is active, not passive. It surrounds you like a shield, guarding you before trouble even appears. Praying for protection acknowledges that life contains both visible and invisible threats. Some appear as difficult people, unexpected challenges, or sudden setbacks. Others are subtle, whispering fear, doubt, or discouragement into your thoughts. God's covering guards your mind, your words, and your actions. It protects your body, your family, and your work. It strengthens your spirit against attacks meant to derail your focus and calling. When you pray for this covering, you invite divine intervention where human strength cannot reach. Spiritual protection also brings peace in uncertainty. When God surrounds you, you can move through the day with confidence, knowing nothing happens outside His care. Doors that should remain closed stay shut. Threatening situations are neutralized before they touch you. Even when challenges arise, His presence steadies your heart, clears your mind, and secures your steps. Beginning the day with a prayer for protection is not just about safety, it is about empowerment. It reminds you that you are not walking alone, that your journey is guided, and that your life is held by one greater than any threat. It allows you to move through the day without fear, confident that God's covering is already in place, guarding every step and every moment. Every day brings moments of uncertainty. Situations arise that feel larger than you, decisions whose outcomes are unclear, and challenges that seem impossible. In those moments, fear can slip in quietly, attempting to shake your confidence and cloud your judgment. But God calls you to a different way, a path shaped by faith. Asking for strength to walk in faith rather than fear is choosing trust even when the road ahead is unclear. It is declaring that God's power outweighs your doubt and His promises stand stronger than any challenge you face. Faith does not mean fear disappears completely. It means that even when fear is present, you continue forward. It means stepping into situations trusting that God's hand is guiding you, even when the full picture is not yet visible. Strength to walk in faith comes from God, and it allows you to face uncertainty with courage. It brings calm to your heart in chaos, clarity to your mind in confusion, and boldness to your spirit when the world says you cannot move forward. When you pray for this strength, you align your heart with God's courage. You invite Him to fill you with confidence rooted in His control. Every step taken in faith, no matter how small, becomes a victory. Every decision made in trust opens doors fear would have kept closed. Even when circumstances feel overwhelming, faith builds a bridge between where you are and where God is leading you. Walking in faith also becomes a quiet testimony to those around you. Your courage encourages others to trust God in their own lives. It shows that peace and confidence are possible even in uncertainty. Each morning asking God for the strength to walk in faith sets the tone for a day where fear no longer rules, and every step is guided by trust in His unwavering love and wisdom. Every area of your life holds potential for God's blessing: your work, your home, your relationships, and every space in between can either drain your energy or fill your life with deep joy. That is why beginning the day with a prayer for blessing is so meaningful. When you ask God to bless your work, you are inviting His favor into your efforts, your responsibilities, and your decisions. You're asking Him to guide your hands, sharpen your mind, and direct your actions so that what you do produces fruit instead of frustration and progress instead of exhaustion. Praying for a blessing over your home carries the same power. Your home is more than a physical space. It is meant to be a place where peace rests, love grows, and protection surrounds everyone within it. When you invite God's presence, you ask Him to guard your family, bring unity into relationships, and fill the atmosphere with calm and joy. Even during moments of tension, God's blessing can soften hearts, restore patience, and turn ordinary interactions into moments of understanding and connection. Relationships also flourish under prayer. Every friendship, partnership, and bond carries the potential for growth or strain. Asking God to bless your relationships allows His wisdom to guide your words, your responses, and your intentions. It invites healing where there is conflict, clarity where there is confusion, and love where distance once existed. Blessing is not limited to material success or outward achievement. It is the alignment of your life with God's design, bringing peace to your heart, joy to your spirit, and favor into every interaction. When you pray over your work, your home, and your relationships each morning, you set the tone for the entire day. You invite God to move in ways that create harmony, open doors, and transform ordinary moments into opportunities for uncommon favor. This posture positions your life to receive not only what you ask for, but what God desires to give generously and abundantly. Life often places barriers along the path, obstacles that feel impossible, limitations that appear permanent, and hidden blockages that quietly slow progress. Many of these challenges lie beyond human control, and no amount of effort alone can remove them. But God is a remover of barriers. When you pray and declare that He clears obstacles, you invite divine power into places where your strength ends. You are acknowledging that no situation is too stuck and no problem is too great for His hand. Barriers come in many forms: delays in your work, tension in relationships, emotional burdens, or spiritual heaviness. Some are visible and others are hidden deep within circumstances you may not fully understand. God sees every wall, every chain, and every resistance standing in your way. When you speak faith over your life, you activate His power to bring breakthrough. Doors long closed begin to open. Opportunities once unreachable become possible. Chains that held you back begin to loosen and fall. Declaring God's ability to remove obstacles is about more than change. It is about freedom. It is stepping into the day knowing that what once limited you no longer has authority over your future. Each step feels lighter. Each decision becomes clearer. Each moment carries renewed possibility. Faith fuels this declaration because when you believe God can remove barriers, your spirit aligns with His power. Every limitation becomes an invitation for God to reveal His strength. No struggle is too prolonged, no delay too deep, and no obstacle too strong. When you begin your morning declaring that God clears hidden blockages and removes every barrier, you step into a day marked by breakthrough, freedom, and forward momentum. You choose to move ahead unbound, guided, and strengthened by His power working within you. Every morning offers the opportunity to shape the day with your words. What you speak carries influence. Words can uplift or discourage, create or tear down. That is why speaking life and victory over your day matters so deeply. When you affirm God's promises, you declare that His abundance, strength, and success are already active in your life. You choose alignment with His purpose instead of surrendering to chaos or negativity. Speaking life is not shallow optimism. It is faith expressed through intention. It is declaring that God's promises remain true, even when circumstances feel uncertain. You can speak over your work, your relationships, your health, and your provision, declaring that each area is covered by His favor. When you speak victory, you remind your spirit that setbacks do not define your journey and challenges do not have the final word. Every step you take is guided by God's hand, and every door prepared for you will open at the appointed time. Speaking life strengthens your inner world. Fear, doubt, and worry may attempt to rise, but words rooted in faith push them back. Your words become a shield for your mind and emotions, building courage where fear lingered and hope where uncertainty tried to settle. Speaking life does not deny problems. It reshapes perspective. It allows you to see opportunity where others see obstacles and hope where others see despair. Each morning, you choose to speak life and victory. You are not reacting to the day ahead. You are declaring that God is already at work. You choose abundance over lack, strength over weakness, and purpose over defeat. Your words then become a compass, guiding you toward the fullness of what God has promised. Every day your mind is filled with thoughts, some uplifting, others heavy, some filled with hope, others with worry. If left unguarded, these thoughts influence your actions, emotions, and direction. That is why beginning the day by renewing your mind with God's word is so powerful. When you ask God to refresh your thoughts, you invite Him to govern your inner world, clearing negativity and filling your mind with truth, peace, and clarity. Renewing the mind is not merely positive thinking. It is aligning your thoughts with God's promises. It is choosing what is lasting, true, and life-giving over what is temporary or harmful. As you reflect on His word, your mind becomes a place of strength instead of confusion, light instead of darkness, and hope instead of anxiety. God's word transforms thinking, shifts perspective, and brings answers where reasoning alone cannot. Praying for renewed thoughts also prepares your heart for what lies ahead. Every choice you make and every action you take flows from your mind. By inviting God to refresh your thinking, you lay a foundation for peace and wisdom. Stress loosens its grip, doubt fades, calm settles into your spirit. Even in challenge, a renewed mind keeps you grounded, focused, and confident. When you start the morning seeking God through His word, you are not simply gathering knowledge, you are allowing transformation. You choose thoughts that empower instead of weaken, hope that lifts instead of weighs down, and peace that steadies instead of shakes. A mind renewed by God becomes a source of strength, clarity, and quiet confidence throughout the day. Every step you take today carries the potential for God's favor to meet you in ways you cannot predict. Expecting His favor wherever you go is more than optimism. It is an act of faith. It is believing that no matter where you find yourself, God is present, working behind the scenes to open doors, adjust circumstances, and release opportunities unseen by human eyes. When you begin the day with this expectation, you train yourself to notice blessings others miss. Favor often appears quietly. It may come through a simple conversation, an unexpected encounter, or a moment of protection from harm you never noticed. Sometimes it shows up as guidance, provision, or breakthrough in areas that once felt blocked. Expecting God's favor sharpens your awareness of His hand in everyday moments. This expectation also strengthens confidence. When you believe favor surrounds you, fear and doubt lose influence. You move with purpose and assurance, trusting that your efforts are not wasted. Challenges are approached with calm, knowing that what is meant for your good will reach you in time. Expectation does not force outcomes, but it aligns your spirit with God's plan, making you receptive to His timing and provision. Carry this awareness into every place you go today. Your work, your home, your travel, your conversations, and your interactions. Quietly remind your heart that God's favor is with you. Watch for signs of His guidance and goodness. When you live with this expectation, blessings are recognized, opportunities are embraced, and God's presence becomes woven into every part of your day, evident in every step you take. After welcoming God's presence, releasing your worries, and declaring His favor, there is a place of rest waiting for you, a place where calm settles in and confidence begins to grow. Walking in peace and confidence is the natural result of aligning your heart and mind with God's promises. It is choosing to move through the day without being shaken by uncertainty, setbacks, or the opinions of others. When you step forward with hope and assurance, you carry an unseen shield that guards your spirit and strengthens your steps. Peace is not the absence of difficulty, it is the presence of God within it. It steadies your heart when situations feel overwhelming. It quiets the noise of fear and doubt that tries to pull your focus away. Confidence is not arrogance or self-reliance. It is trust in God's plan, His wisdom, and His perfect timing. It allows you to act with clarity, speak with boldness, and respond with calm assurance, knowing you are equipped for whatever the day may bring. When peace and confidence fill your spirit, you stop reacting to circumstances and begin moving with intention and purpose. Your actions are no longer driven by fear, but by faith. Your thoughts are no longer scattered, but centered. This inner steadiness allows you to approach each moment with clarity instead of confusion and strength instead of hesitation. You walk knowing that God's presence is guiding your steps, even when the path ahead is not fully clear. Walking in peace and confidence also affects how others experience you. Your calm presence can bring comfort to those who are anxious. Your assurance can inspire trust, cooperation, and stability in both personal and professional relationships. Challenges that once felt intimidating begin to feel manageable because your faith anchors you. You carry a quiet strength, fully aware that God goes before you and that His purposes cannot be stopped. As this morning prayer comes to a close, hold on to the truth that today rests in God's care. Step forward with courage, carrying hope in your heart and confidence in your spirit. Let your mind remain settled, your soul stay strong, and your actions be directed by His presence. Walking in peace and confidence does more than shape your day. It changes the impact you leave on every place you enter and every person you encounter. This day is not ordinary. It is filled with God's favor, direction, and breakthrough. Every step you take, every choice you make, and every interaction you experience can be touched by His presence. You have released fear, welcomed His guidance, spoken His favor, and stepped into the day with assurance. Now move forward boldly, trusting that doors only He can open are waiting ahead. Barriers are breaking, paths are clearing, blessings are moving towards you in ways you may not yet see. Your life is positioned for victory because God is with you, guiding you, protecting you, and blessing you beyond what you could imagine. Carry these words with you throughout the day. Speak life over your circumstances. Hold firmly to God's promises. Expect His favor in unexpected moments. Watch as peace settles deeper, strength rises within you, and abundance flows into every area of your life. Today holds opportunities to overcome, to grow, and to witness God's goodness in ways you have not experienced before. Step into this day with confidence, knowing that God's favor surrounds you, His peace fills you, and His hand is actively at work in every step you take.